Hi, everybody. Welcome to Maverick Football 1990. I'm Dave Weber, along with head coach Tom Mueller. We're going to talk about a tough loss and the worst weather conditions I've ever had to shoot a game in. Before we get to that, though, Coach, you win against Kearney State, you win against South Dakota, and the team looked good. Did anything, can you put your finger on anything that's happened over the last 5 games that has been part of the cause of the 5-game losing streak, or is it just you're not getting the breaks, or what?
Well, you always like to think sometimes you're not getting the breaks, but athletics, you got to go out and make some things happen also. And I don't think defensively in the last 4 or 5 games, I don't think we've had an interception. We've gotten a couple fumbles, but they're the type that we haven't caused out there. And then obviously, we've been doing too many things to hurt ourselves on offense. So we've been playing hard, kept us in these games. I felt that 4 of those 5 of the losses at the end here, we've had opportunities to win. And the other teams come out and do some things to win the game, and we're just not responding.
You did have opportunities to win 4 out of the 5. The game this past Saturday night against Mankato State, as I said, in horrible weather conditions. Let's get to the highlights now and take a look at what happened out at Caniglia Field Saturday night. This is the one where the power should have gone out, and we'd have played Sunday afternoon instead of in a driving wind and driving rain. Those kind of conditions seem to amplify the mistakes that players make in the games, too.
Right, and I was telling Coach Runkle before the game, maybe we get the lights to go out and we could play on Sunday when it seems to be a little nicer weather. But, we came out, and again, they're a very good defensive football team, and obviously, we have to throw the ball a little bit against those types of teams, and it's not a good night to throw the ball, obviously. But I was very happy, to start with. I guess sometimes you're just looking for little things to make you happy, but they won the coin toss. The wind was definitely a factor coming out of the north, and they took the win. Their defense is playing probably as well as any defense in the conference right now. And so they were going to kick to us, and obviously it's going to be a field position night. And our offense took the ball right down the field, and we had an opportunity to put a touchdown in there, and we fumbled a snap on 3rd down, but we did get 3 points out of it. And I guess I was very happy about that. Started out right here with Victor Barnes. Nice return from it. We're pretty dang good at this, and I guess it just goes to show if you practice returning a lot of kickoffs, you get better at it.
That's not one of the stats that you want to lead the nation in, right. Kickoff return average. As we watch the highlights of that first drive, here's Check, and we were talking before the show that this might be one of your best run plays this year when he can get outside.
Well, I'll tell you right now, we've been running the bootleg, and he's been throwing the ball well off the bootleg, plus running it, and he got a big first down there on 3rd and 7. We come back here with Aaron Backer, who's making his first start for us, and he has a nice gain of 16 yards right there. Aaron, I thought, responded very well to his first start.
Here's another play, a pass to Barnes. This is that little fade pattern that Barnes comes back to get.
Right. And we start out, I guess maybe I'm getting a little optimistic on the sideline right there, because, I just feel that our offense, one of these games is going to break out of it. We go down there, we get stalled, Tony Marino comes in and kicks the field goal for us, and we're up 3-0.
You're in good shape going into the wind.
Right, plus we took time off the clock.
Took time off the clock and kept the ball away from Mankato, and you're up 3-0. Now you kick off to Mankato State, and they get a nice run here, a loss of 2 yards by Jaycox.
Right, and he's a good runner. I thought we kept him, hemmed in there pretty well all the time. You feel that they're going to run dive, and the quarterback's obviously going to keep it. Now I felt this is probably one of the bigger plays.
Big play of the game.
Probably the first half. We don't field the ball. We stopped him right there. I think 66-yard punt stops on the 1-yard line. We're not good enough to drive things out from down there, especially in a weather condition like this. It's tough punting, from it. Again, I'm not the one back there punting on that, but even if you punt the ball reasonably well, they're gonna get the ball on your end of the field every time from this, and it's tough.
Does that make you wonder if maybe we should have double tandem back there on receiving punts, or is that an option?
Well, we did, and the problem is we've had some people injured. Here's a nice play right there, stopping Jaycox. Again, we had some people injured, so we got some new people back there, and sometimes it's not a good situation as far as communications, and that's what happened.
It's better than the Steelers had over the weekend, where the kid let the kickoff bounce and they recovered it in the end zone.
Right, those guys are getting paid. Right there is the field goal for it. Again, I can't believe that thing stayed up high enough to.
I slowed it down. It just cleared it by an inch. So it's 3-3 tie now, and you're still in good shape. You're halfway through the first quarter, and you've played them even so far. We're going to drop down now.
Right, Dunn, again, it was wet out there, and he mishandles a snap right there, and
but he gets it back.
He gets it back, definitely, on that type of thing. And we end up, they have to punt the ball, and they did it from a field goal formation, but they punted into the end zone. So we got the ball on the 20-yard line again, and from it, we just got to do some things to get out of there. We have a nice run right here, and we get called for a personal foul from it. And those are things right now that we can't overcome.
Can't recover from.
And so you don't need a 2nd and 22 in that type of situation. The personal foul was after the play, so they take it back. We have an incomplete pass there to their tight end running down the middle. Good coverage, though, by Kerry Newman on that particular play. It's 3-3 at the end of the first quarter. I'm really happy from that standpoint with the win the factor. They run a little draw right here, and Kirk Coleman makes
nice play by Kirk.
A great play on that. Kirk plays hard, and again, he makes a lot of tackles, but he's supposed to in our defense. They come down again, they try a field goal, and it's no good. So, the kids are doing the things, not only playing hard. Playing hard is one thing, but doing what you're supposed to do is important. And against an option team, you got to be very disciplined.
Roethlisberger here recovers a fumble for you.
Okay, and so we come right back. We're on the 44-yard line right there. Got an opportunity to get a drive going. We throw the ball in here for a first down, and we fumble. Mankato gets the ball back right there. And again, we just got to learn to take better care of the football.
Here's a flag on you that hurt too.
Right, it's a late hit. I guess I'm sorry on this. These people on this side, obviously you got to get some calls. I think sometimes they walk onto the field looking for certain things. Again, they ran a load option on this type of thing. We had a little mix-up on assignment right there, and Dunn's a very good quarterback, very good runner for him, and they take it in for a touchdown.
For the umpteenth week in a row, you meet a team that has a good, mobile, fast, good, quick release kind of quarterback.
Well, again, I think it's a key thing, and they got people out there that are making plays for him. He goes back here, one of his 2 passes he throws, and we have excellent coverage on this particular play. Rodney Bradley does a nice job. Again, they're not a throwing team, and we didn't really figure that they were going to throw very much on this particular night. There's a play by Corey Barr. I thought Corey played the best game that he's played at UNO, and made a tough adjustment to going as an outside linebacker. They punt to us, and scores 10-3 right now. Victor Barnes gets the ball. I tell you what, we set this up. You can see Kirk Coleman gets a great block there on the wall, and we have a return of 35 yards. I mean, we're back in excellent field position on this. From it, we get a loss on our first play, and then we threw an interception right after this. From it. So, these are things that we've got to do a better job. The ball wasn't well thrown. It was to the inside. Really didn't give us a chance, although I would like to see our receivers maybe interfere with them. It's still our ball on those types of things. They run a play here to Jay Cox, and we got excellent pursuit. That's Chris Bantner, who made his first start since we lost Larry Sibley, and I thought Chris responded very, very well in this game. There's Jay Cox again, and Kirk Coleman coming up, put the final touch on. Rich Luter made the play there. Rich had probably his best game of the year also from it. This is a crucial third down play right there. They roll out. We get excellent pursuit, and again, it's Rich Luter and Kirk Coleman on the play out there. And, we force them to punt on this. We come out. Paul scrambles again. I think they get a late hit on this one, and
face mask call, I think.
Right. Again, and that was on our sideline. We like to see all the penalties we can get to get things going. I thought that was a pretty cheap call myself on them. From it. And again, I guess when your team at our situation right now, a personal foul, a late hit, a lineman downfield later on in the second half. They don't seem like major things, but for us, we aren't able to overcome those types of things, and we got to stay away from that.
The teams that are able to win are able to overcome the little bad things that happen to them, so they don't turn into big bad things. You go into the locker room at halftime, guys are cold, the guys are wet, but they're only down 10-3. Were their spirits up? Were they ready to play in the second half? What did you say to them?
Well, at that time, I guess my biggest thing is we've given ourselves an opportunity to win a football game. I felt the same way when we played North Dakota the week before. We've done some things that we weren't real happy with, but we battled, and we got to go out that second half. Now, when you're playing good teams, no matter if it's a North Dakota or a Mankato, you got to understand that they're going to come flying back at you right away.
Absolutely, the great teams come out in the third quarter and just stuff the ball right at you, and don't wait for you to do something.
But we start out right away, and I think we had a 10 or 12 play drive here right away in the third quarter from it, doing some good things. Again, Chet gets out here and runs for 6 yards, and we get a first down. On that type of thing. We go right now. We get an offside penalty from it. LaRon Henderson loses 11 yards. Now we're sitting at a second and 26.
You can tell the emotion here, the pursuit that they were able to put on. Napora goes up the middle here for a nice draw.
I tell you, he ran 14 yards, real nice draw. Except you can get 14 yards on a draw when you got 3rd and 26. You're still 4th and 10 or 12 or something like that. Run again to the outside, and again Mark Mattingly comes up and makes the play. On that, Mark had 17 tackles. I thought did an excellent job. Rick Rowe there forces his sweep wide, and Kirk Coleman makes a nice scrape on that. And again, the kids are still getting after them, playing hard. We had a nice drive, didn't get any points, but some little penalties and things like this as we're going along. There's Aaron Vactor again with a 15-yard gain.
If Victor had hit that block, who knows how far he would have gone. He was angry. I know Victor was mad he missed that block.
But we get ourselves, we had an offside penalty in there and a loss, and we end up punting again. We get an 8-yard punt this time.
Yeah.
Field position is so important because right now for Mankato State, they are in 4-down territory right now. That's 2.5 yards a carry on that from this. Dunn starts right out, and they started running a lot of what we call ISO options. He follows the fullback up through the hole. And they're tough plays, and he's an excellent runner on the outside. They make a pitch right here, and Rich Luter runs it down again, moving extremely well. Corey Barr was in on this. They run the fullback up inside on a 2nd and 6 play for no gain.
Mantner in on that tackle, too.
Right. I'll tell you, they're playing well. Darren Curtis played well on the inside for us. Then we get a 4th and 2. And they run that option. And, again, they get a lot of one-on-one blocking, and we didn't feel maybe the correct way. And we had some people, again, our safety came up and played pitch like he was supposed to, and the quarterback bounced inside, and they get a touchdown on that.
That's a big touchdown. That makes it 17-3, and it's getting colder, and it's getting wetter, and the ball's getting slipperier. You come back here now with possession and Thielen.
I tell you, Greg Thielen comes in playing in the first game of the year for us right there, and he gets a 12-yard gain on it. Just running hard and playing good football. We come out with a bootleg again.
This was a killer play here. Just a killer.
Right, and when we ran back the film, we pull the guard the opposite direction. I think he's probably 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. My whole thing, I guess, on this is that somewhere in that book, there's got to be a common sense type of thing. He's away from the play, and again, it's probably the correct call. It's something that we didn't need, something we got to coach against. We make another completion there just out of bounds.
Just out of bounds.
But, those are big plays against a good team that could get us, back in there.
Little things that just keep mounting up that make it more and more difficult to overcome them. You go into the fourth quarter, down 17-3, and you make a good defensive stand here.
Right. Biggest
After a long run.
Right. Fosse gets 46 yards. And I'll tell you again, I guess maybe when things aren't going good, the other team makes calls from it. We had a blitz on. They had a great play to call against it right there. There's Darren Curtis making a stop on Fosse again for no gain. We come back on a 3rd and 4 play right here. Quarterback runs outside. Rich Luter forces him to pitch. We get excellent pursuit. This is probably the best I felt that our defense has gang tackled and ran to the ball.
And then you stuff this field goal, too.
Right. We come in, we block the field goal from it. Again, everybody's wondering, do you play hard and things like this? I'll guarantee you the kids are playing hard, and we got some people that I think have got to elevate a little bit higher, but there's a lot of frustration out there right now, too.
Do you think
There's LaRon Henderson on these last couple carries. You know, and again, LaRon's running hard in there. We get a nice drive going again from this. I think LaRon, we run a little option right here.
Here's LaRon again, yeah.
On a 3rd and 7, we get 10 yards for a first down.
The kids need a win now is what they need.
Yes, they do.
To get their confidence back up, to back up to the point where they know that all the work they're doing is going to pay off. Here's Thielen, another nice run.
He gets 19 yards. I told Greg yesterday he's sort of a equal opportunity type runner. He lets everybody have a shot at him, but he runs hard, and I tell you, he gives you an honest day's work out there. Okay, we throw an out pattern right there on 4th and 10, and again, we don't get it. We're doing things that we don't want to be able to do, but kids are hanging in there. We stop them again on the 3rd down play right there. From it, they have to do. They have to punt now from it. So again, we feel that we're still in this.
Still in the ball game.
We've had a couple drives. I know people obviously. They say, it's time for offense to do it, but the offense is doing some better things. Maybe I'm just looking for little things. We also do some things that kill us. Right here, we screw up on a line call. We're running a play that probably isn't the greatest one in our playbook as far as our people, but option was something you could run against them to the outside, and they come through, and we end up with a fumble, and they get a very cheap touchdown on that.
That makes it 23-3, and in the 4th quarter, against the way Mankato State's playing, you guys had to feel pretty low at this point. Check back to pass again, and the ball's up in the air a while, and the guy was able to pick it off.
Right. Kelly makes a real nice interception, a run right there, and again, that's some things. We got a couple receivers in the area right there, and probably wasn't a good route or a good throw. But we're in a situation. This is what we want to do. We don't do this well, having to go back and throw. They run a draw right there, and Rick Rowe, who hasn't played since the South Dakota game, comes in, makes a great hit, and exits there with a concussion on that play, but he'll be back this week to play again. They run the option to the outside. There's Mark Mattingly again making a good fill from it, and again, for the most part, I thought the kids played some very good, aggressive, disciplined defense.
Here's UNO's ball, a pass to Barnes.
Jim Brzezinski's in right now, and he throws a pass to Victor Barnes out there. Jim comes right back in, and I think throws the ball here to Paul Balmert from it. Again, this is not a situation you want to be, especially on a night like this. And it's basically the end of the ball game. From it.
You go back to a couple of plays. You go back to the non-fielded punt early in the ball game, and the long pass completion that's called back for.
Just like on a night like that, they're not going to throw the ball a lot.
Possession time almost even. The turnovers kill you. A couple of interceptions, a couple of fumbles.
Right. 5-1. Right. And the turnovers mean field position on that type of thing.
Here's how it went around the rest of the conference. Augustana shuts out South Dakota, and Northern Colorado edges North Dakota.
Big win there for Northern Colorado. They came back. North Dakota had scored on them with a minute left in the game. Northern Colorado came back and scored with 2 seconds left to beat them. North Dakota State obviously rolling, against St. Cloud right there, and South Dakota with a big upset over Morningside. And I'm sure right now, the Chiefs, I think, have lost 4 in a row right now, and I'm sure they got some big question marks up there.
They got to be hurting too. North Dakota State still on top, #1 in the nation. And North Dakota, 2 non-conference losses. Augie's still in there, and then you go to the 500 team, St. Cloud State, Northern Colorado, where you have to go this coming week.
Well, here's the thing. You look through it. There's some awful good teams. St. Cloud with 4 losses in there. Mankato, with some losses. Morningside, I think, with 4 losses right now. This type of thing. As they go through it, I mean, you got there's a very thin margin between winning and losing, and obviously we're in a game. When you're in sports, you want to win. I think if there was somebody sitting there, it was a miserable night like that. If it would have been a nice night, I think it would have been a heck of a game to watch from it. Again, I think we've gone 2 weeks in a row where the scores aren't necessarily indicative of maybe what the game was for probably 3 quarters. But we're not doing the things necessary to win.
You had a couple of young men, a couple of young men with an outstanding game for you on offense and defense. On defense, the man you mentioned so many times with the tackles, Mark Mattingly.
I'll tell you, Mark, I thought responded very well. If you're going against an option football team, your free safety's got to be able to run the alleys and make the tackles on this. And Mark played a great game this week and really responded. I think he was a kid that in practice, you know, we got on him a little bit. We talked to him about, we didn't feel that he played real well for a couple games in there, but, you know, Mark's a competitor and got a lot of pride. And, yeah, those are important qualities, you know, from him. And he's a good person to have out there.
On offense, a young man that got to make some nice runs for you.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Greg Thielen came in, and again, like we were saying, this is the first time that game that this year that Greg's played in. He had knee surgery a year ago. He's been down there with the scout team playing on the defensive end of the field. Well, sometimes I told some of our kids maybe more of them got to be down there. I think it makes you appreciate getting in the game a little bit more. And you know, Greg is not blessed, you know, with the great speed and all that, but he gives you an honest day's work. He's always going to go hard, and he's got a big heart. He loves to play football.
Any other youngsters you want to mention just that weren't named for players?
Well, you know, I thought this week Darren Curtis, you know, he's played very, very well for us in there. I thought our outside backers, Rick Rowe and Corey Barr, played real well. I mentioned Chris Bantner early coming in and starting, you know, in a spot that Larry Sibley had been in before. You know, and then, you know, I thought Mike Turkles played well, and Scott Woods has played well on our offensive line for us.
Any update on Darren's ankle?
Again, he said he's going to play. And, you know, there's a lot of people that aren't playing right now that I think aren't hurt as bad as he is. But Darren loves to play football. He's got 3 games left in his senior career. I would assume if there's any way imaginable that he's going to make a trip to Northern Colorado.
Guys, kids stay in good shape all year long. Hopefully, that's what you want them to do. With conditioning programs and spring training, football is a year-round endeavor. But the players and coaches aren't the only ones on the field who keep at it all year long.
Performing well through the fourth quarter can depend on the conditioning program of the previous summer for the cheerleaders. Co-captains Shiloh Duro and Ginny Menard lead a group that's always busy.
In the summer, the first couple of weeks, we start off doing a lot of training, aerobics, weightlifting, walking upstairs, just trying to get the girls in shape, all of us in shape. Then we start working on stuff that we take to camp, routines, cheers, chants, pyramids, dances that we'll be taking to camp to compete with. All throughout the year, we're working on football and preparing for that, and then preparing for nationals, which we're doing right now. And we prepare for basketball games, which will be coming up soon. And we do a lot of fundraisers. We have to raise money just so we can go to nationals. Nationals is in January. As soon as that's over with, it's kind of like a lot's done. But then we got to keep going through basketball, which usually ends about in March. So it does take a lot out of you. And by the time March comes around, you're kind of sick of it.
Though the cheerleaders must raise their own funds to attend their 3rd straight national competition, cheer coach Amy Bellows, the UNO Student Activities Advisor, says they do receive university support.
We get some of our funding from the athletic department. Our uniforms come from the athletic, and our travel comes from the athletic department. They buy their own shoes and they buy their own jackets, since those are things that they keep and they wear. We have tryouts in every spring. They're required to do a variety of things, go through a cheer, go through a dance routine that we have somebody make up for us.
And here are the cheerleaders who made it through those tryouts.
I'm Corin Gallis. I'm a sophomore in the College of Arts and Science. I'm majoring in speech communications, and I graduated from Burke High School.
Hi, my name is Katie Euler. I graduated from Omaha South High School. I'm majoring in pre-med, and I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Whitney. I went to Omaha Groves. I'm majoring in physical therapy, and I'm a freshman.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Lohman. I graduated from Omaha Groves. I'm a sophomore. My major is fashion design.
Hi, my name is Ron Roy. I graduated from Ralston High School in Ralston, Nebraska. I'm a freshman majoring in business administration.
Hi, my name is Carrie Gabby. I graduated from Norfolk High School in Norfolk, Nebraska. I'm a freshman. My major is exercise science.
Hi, my name is Gina Kuntz. I'm a freshman. I graduated from Mueller North, and I majored in social work.
Hi, my name is Shiloh Duro. I'm a junior majoring in secondary education. I graduated from Bryan Senior High School in Omaha, Nebraska.
Hi, I'm Sherry Eckert. I graduated from Ralston High School, and I'm a junior with the exercise science major.
Hi, my name is Beth Watson. I'm a sophomore majoring in journalism, and I graduated from Thomas Jefferson High School in Council Bluffs.
Hi, I'm Jenny Menard. I'm a sophomore here at UNO, and I'm studying physical therapy. I graduated from Mueller South in Omaha, Nebraska.
Hello, my name is Bethany Singh. I'm a freshman. I have the big undeclared major, and I'm from Omaha North High in Omaha.
Hi, my name is Kim McCrae. I'm a freshman. I graduated from Omaha North High School, and I'm an undeclared major.
Hi, my name is Cass Manfito. I'm a sophomore here, and I graduated from Groves, and I'm an architecture major.
We have
Cheerleading practice at 6:30 in the morning. That is early.
Practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6:30 to 8, and we've just now incorporated Fridays in with that as well. Tuesdays and Thursdays now we'll be spending working on our nationals routine, and Fridays are the days we spend to work on what we're going to do for the game on that weekend.
Lori Joseph is the assistant cheerleaders coach there. You know, I complain about standing out there having to shoot the game with the camera, getting wet and everything, and these kids are out there just getting just as wet as I am, jumping around in mud puddles and stuff.
I tell you, they do a tremendous job. They put in a lot of time, and they've been very loyal to us. And again, I think it's just another facet of campus life here we have at UNO that people don't understand that's here.
The band did a good job too. In the rain, oh man, I'm miserable.
Jim Saker does a tremendous job with those people.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Northern Colorado, the opponent this weekend. Like you said, they're a good ball club. You got to go out there and play them. What are you looking for?
They're playing very aggressive on defense right now, and again, I think a lot of aggressiveness with people is just confidence in what you're doing. And you know, they shut down Mankato 2 weeks ago. They beat North Dakota this last week. Offensively, they got a lot of weapons. They got a young QB that I think we got 6 films on him of the season, so we've sort of seen him grow up. And this kid is just getting better and better every week. He's making decisions now. Throwing the ball that 6 weeks ago he didn't make.
Well, it's going to be another tough game, but they're all tough in the North Central Conference. We know it. And we'll see you next week, hopefully, with highlights of the Northern Colorado game. Thanks for being with us. For Coach Tom Mueller, this is Dave Weber saying so long.